Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another fantastic installment of the Early Bird. So glad you decided to join us for this one, because on this episode we have Renelle Briggs of McMaster's cross country team. She's helping host a webinar this week titled Black Excellence, Celebrating Leaders in Sport. That's really exciting, so stick around to hear all about that in just a second. But as always, we are sponsored by our great friends at Fortino's Maine West, who knows all students love a discount, especially on their groceries. So for right now, you can head over to Fortino's Maine West every Tuesday with your student card to get a little discount on your groceries. All right, let's head into our interview with Renelle Briggs. Hey, Renelle, welcome to the show. So happy to have you on the Early Bird today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, Renelle, just in your own words, why don't you tell us what's going on with the webinar this week? Tell us all the good info.
The event that we're hosting is called Black Excellence Leaders in Sport, and the student athletes actually came up with that name.
Yeah.
But the point of it is to just start a conversation around Black leadership in sport. It's going to be, like you mentioned before, we're doing a webinar. So there's going to be two sections. One's on December 7th, one's from 7 to 8, and one's from 8 to 9. So we have 4 amazing leaders who are going to be speaking on both of those. And all 4 of them are like sports professionals or in the sports professional world. So we're looking forward to hearing their experiences and insight on this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think people are going to get out of this specifically? What kind of things are people going to hear from these experts? And what do you think will be the big takeaways at the end of this webinar?
Well, one of the things, like, we've been doing a lot of preparation, and one of the things I love about the leaders that are coming on are that they have such a positive and optimistic outlook on this. So obviously this is like the reason why we have to do this is kind of negative, but
Yeah.
they just have like this kind of sense of hope, and I hope that that's going to be kind of transferred onto all the people that are watching. And
Yeah.
so I'm excited to see that. I think that's really important.
Yeah, right on. And could you tell us what was your favorite part of being a part of the creation of this webinar?
I really had like a lot of fun working
Yeah.
on this because I've just met so many other people in like the athletic department and so many other student athletes that I probably never would have met if it hadn't been through this. Like, even all the other student athletes, like, we're all on different teams. And I know that, like, I've noticed that the basketball and volleyball teams seem to be really close because they share a lot of the same facilities and everything. But like the cross country and track team, like, we're just kind of on our own. So it's
Hmm.
harder to meet other people who are in athletics here. So that was really cool. And I
Yeah.
also just loved, like, everybody, all the other student athletes that I met, they're also using their social media platforms for something bigger than just posting pictures. And so I
Hmm.
thought that was really cool because it's always nice to meet other people who are doing that.
Yeah, right on. Have you done any hosting of webinars before? Is this your first time doing hosting? Give us a little
um,
background on that.
with school, yes, but I actually have done a webinar um, teaching social media before
Right on. Yeah.
earlier this year. Yeah.
Yeah. I came across your website while we were doing research for the show. Maybe you don't want this included in the episode, and that's okay. You can just say so. But tell us about your exploits in social media mavenism. How did you come across this line of work, and how'd you get into it?
Yeah, no, you can totally share that.
Yeah.
So I'm an entrepreneur. I like to call myself a social media entrepreneur because
Right
I
on.
work primarily online. And I've been doing this for about 2 years. At the beginning of this year, I really wanted to learn more about how I could use my social media effectively to build a brand and a business for myself.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I got really big into that. So all throughout this year, I've been on webinars, I've been listening to podcasts, doing trainings, and just trying to learn more about how I can be more effective. And I really love it. So I
Yeah.
started to kind of teach that as part of the things I share through my social media platforms. And I just love it. It's so fun.
Yeah, and if anyone's looking for that, it's really easy. RenelleBriggs.com. It came up when I Googled you. So
Yeah.
right on. Good for you for putting yourself out there. And yeah, it's something I wouldn't think of doing and have no expertise in. So good for you for putting yourself out there with that. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, of course. In all the social change that's been enacted in the last few months, what do you think has been the power of social media and all that.
I think definitely the ability to build a lot of relationships and connect with a
Hmm.
lot of people. That's like one of the biggest things I love about it because it allows you to do that so much easier, especially with everything that's been going on where you can't really just go out and meet people.
Right.
And like people always ask me to like how I grew my social media, and that's always what I tell them. Like I just talk to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and I love that too.
Yeah, right on. Well, that's Renelle Briggs hosting a webinar this week. Renelle, give us the title, where we can find it, how do we sign up, how do we get involved with your great webinar?
Yes, so the title is Black Excellence Leaders in Sport. And to RSVP, you can either go to marauders.ca or you can click the link in the McMaster Sports bio.
Perfect. Easy enough. That's Renelle Briggs. Thank you so much, Renelle.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to Renelle Briggs for joining us this week, and thank you to you for watching this episode and every episode we've been so happy to make for you this year. We are done with the early bird for this calendar year of 2020. We hope you have a happy and healthy holiday season wherever you're spending it. And I'd just like to take the time to shout out two very special people who really make the early bird happen. Mwad Issa and Kathleen and Gwen. They do all the hard work, the producing, the booking, the editing, all the really hard stuff. And I just get to sit here in my comfy chair and interview athletes. So thank you so much to them. On behalf of the Early Bird, my name is Duncan Simmons, and we hope to see you in 2021.